Hey guys, Coach Brown here. In a previous video, I talked about how the talent level is rising in every division of college lacrosse. Let's look at some numbers that show why that is. There are 146,000 girls playing lacrosse in high school. There are 12,700 playing in college. That's 8.7% of the high school players. So not everyone gets the chance to play lacrosse in college. Now you're probably saying, but coach, the best players still go D1. And in many cases that's true. But stick with me. There are 581 women's college lacrosse teams in the country. Only 67 of them are D1 teams, and only 2.4% of high school players play at the D1 level. That's a lot of great players that choose to play for one of the other 514 teams. I don't want to discourage anyone from playing at the D1 level if that's their dream, but I want to make sure they understand the numbers. You also hear all the time that playing at the D1 level is a full-time job. But what does that look like exactly? Well, for one, every day has something lacrosse related going on. Here's an example for one D1 player who recently talked to me about her schedule. After all of her classes are done for the day, she gets a quick bite to eat. She then gets in to see the trainer and has a pre-practice meeting at 5:30. That's followed by 3 hours of practice from 6 to 9. Then they have a mile run after practice, followed by team weightlifting. Once that is done, they finally get to grab something to eat, although by then all the dining hall options are closed, so they have to find somewhere else to eat. Once they eat, it's going on 11 o'clock at night, and they're just getting ready to start studying and doing schoolwork. That's about 6 hours a day just on lacrosse. It is not easy. You know, a lot has changed in the recruiting process and timeline since I started coaching back in 1999. For one, a lot more people are involved in the process and giving their input. Also, players are committing much earlier. But despite all of the changes, and really all of the noise, the same guidelines and principles are still in place. It comes down to, what do you want from your college experience? It's not about anything else. It's not about your summer club program being able to market where their girls are going, or a college being like, we've got the top recruits, look at our class. At the core, it's about you. It's a decision that's going to impact the next 4 years of your life, but has the potential to impact the rest of your life. And that's why it's so important. That's why I always say it's not a 4-year decision, but a 40-year decision. That's also why you get to hone in on what you want. A lot of people make a big deal about the division level you play at. But when I think about it, I think about the following. First is the academics. This is the most important thing. You can get an education anywhere, but the better the school, the more doors that will open up for you. It impacts the rest of your life. Next is geography. Where is the school? There's a huge difference between upstate New York and Southern California. Weather, distance, culture. Some kids like going home every weekend to play with their dog and have their mom do their laundry. Some want to go as far away from home as they can. Third would be the size of the school. Do you want to be 1 in 40,000 or 1 in 2,000? Do you want to go to a big state school with big football games, or do you want to be in a small liberal arts college where you know your teachers by their first name? Imagine being in an auditorium with 300 people per class, or shrinking that down to being 1 of 15. Which do you prefer? And then fourth, what kind of support system is there for the team? Do they have academic tutors and mentors? Are you actually allowed to explore the major you're interested in? Is there flexibility if you don't know what you want yet? After you figure that out, then start looking at the lacrosse program. I talked in my previous video about things to look at when evaluating a team and program, but something else to consider is this. Look at their current roster size, and then compare that to how many recruits they're bringing in each year. If they're bringing in 20 recruits every year, do the math. You know they aren't all staying and they're making cuts. Finally, wherever you end up deciding to go, make sure it's a school you'll be happy at if lacrosse isn't part of the equation. Too often, kids go off to school for a sport, get hurt, end up hating the school, and then transferring. That's the last thing you want. So make sure you'd be happy with the school if you couldn't play lacrosse there. Choose the school for you, not where someone else is pushing you towards. Thanks guys, and go Pilots!